Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate on the 2nd of November. It will be a crucial day for Delhi. While the BJP claims that Kejriwal is the kingpin of the Liquorgate scam, the Aam Aadmi Party has hit out at the BJP, claiming that they want to arrest all opposition leaders before the 2024 elections. But will the ED arrest Kejriwal? If they do, what happens to the government in the capital city? To talk more about this, joining us at this point in time is Bansuri Swaraj, BJP leader. Bansuri, appreciate you joining us. I hope you could hear me. Thank you very much, Bansuri, for joining us. Well, the Aam Aadmi Party, like it always says, means they think this is some sort of a conspiracy against them. You know, there hasn't been a trail of money that has been established. There hasn't been any evidence that has been procured other than some witnesses turning hostile. What Raghav Chadha went on to say today as well, that the attempt is to have no opposition in the country so the Bharatiya Janata Party can do whatever it wants. How do you respond to these charges?
These are baseless, completely false charges. First of all, not a single individual has turned hostile. No witness has turned hostile. Certain accused who were involved in the scam and who were co-conspirators of the Aam Aadmi Party leadership have turned approver. So the evidentiary value of an individual who becomes an approver means he's an accused who will now turn as a witness for the prosecution is extremely valuable. But I'll tell you, the ED allegations are not just based on the allegations or the statements of an approver. For example, Dinesh Arora has alleged that 2 crore rupees were actually sent by him through an employee to Sanjay Singh's house. This has been corroborated by call detailed recordings of Dinesh Arora's employees, and the phone location places him at Sanjay Singh's house. And I must say, I know they keep on misinterpreting the Supreme Court order and keep on saying that the Supreme Court has not agreed with a single charge against Mr. Manish Sisodia. I want to ask them, today, trial court, high court and Supreme Court, 3 courts of the land have already applied their judicial mind. All 3 courts of the land have found that there is prima facie evidence to prosecute the Aam Aadmi Party leaders and have not granted bail to Mr. Manish Sisodia. If the Supreme Court judgment said that none of the charges were established, then why has Mr. Manish Sisodia not been granted bail? Please see paragraph number 24 of the Supreme Court judgment, which is at page 33. I'll just place a few lines. Please see what exactly the Supreme Court says. In para 24, there are 11 bullet points that have been recapitulated from the ED charge sheet. And then para 25 says that because of these reasons, we're not granting bail. I'm going to read just 4 lines from the first charge itself.
Sure.
The existing excise policy was changed to facilitate and get kickbacks and bribes from the wholesale distributors by enhancing their commission or fee from 5% under the old policy to 12% under the new policy. Accordingly, a conspiracy was hatched to carefully draft the new policy, deviating from the expert opinion and views to create an ecosystem to assure unjust enrichment of the wholesale distributors at the expense of the government exchequer or the consumer. The illegal income proceeds of crimes as per the DOE would partly be recycled and returned in the form of bribes. This is the finding of the Supreme Court. But what happens is Aam Aadmi Party has a penchant for actually misleading the people.
Okay.
They're great storytellers.
All right, Bansuri, just let me also rope in Preeti Sharma Menon, senior leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, to respond to what you have just said. Preeti Sharma, thank you for joining us. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear.
How do you respond to what Bansuri has said? There is no legal loophole that is working against Manish Sisodia or any of the other co-accused in the Liquorgate. Everything is going as per the law. What she's saying, it's the Aam Aadmi Party that's basically misdirecting and redirecting the people of Delhi to stay in power.
I would like to just point out an observation. The lady just now read out a passage from the judgment. Please understand that the passage that she read is not something that the Supreme Court has said. The Supreme Court is quoting the charges made by the ED. In any judgment, the Supreme Court quotes the respondents and the petitioners. This is how BJP confuses people. They are going to quote as a part of the judgment the quote of the ED which the judgment is using.
PTG, my apologies, I'm interrupting.
Please, I did not
PTG, that is not fair. I'm not reading the submissions, I'm reading the file.
Okay, one second. Basri, just let her finish. Basri, I'll come to you. Basri, I'll come to you. Just allow her a minute. I'll come to you. I'll come to you for a response. Go ahead, Preeti.
Yes, please. See, when they're caught lying, this is how they react. They start getting hysterical and they start putting their voice down. And they shouldn't be doing that. Now, coming to the ED. Let's come to the ED, what is going on in the ED. Since it was formed, the ED, it has filed around 6,000 cases. Out of those 6,000 cases, only 25 have been actually the cases which actually went to court and got orders passed in them. So they say the conviction rate is amazing. 24 out of 25 were convicted. But what they don't say is that there are 6,000 cases in which the ED has, out of them, even the charge sheets have been filed only in 1,100. Coming to the cases against politicians. Out of all the cases filed against politicians by the ED, 85% have been filed in the tenure of the BJP and they are against the opposition. The cases used by the ED are always used at the time when it is critical, when there is an election coming up, when there is some political development happening. The moment political developments happened in Maharashtra, Anil Deshmukh, Sanjay Raut, Nawab Malik, they were all arrested by the ED.
Okay, let's stick to Delhi. Preeti, let's stick to Delhi. Let's talk about Delhi and Kejriwal.
I'm just saying it is not about Delhi. This is a national problem. The ED is being used as a device by the BJP to arrest opposition leaders on flimsy charges.
But the courts have also weighed into this, right? The courts are independent, right? Preeti, our courts are independent.
Courts are independent, and the Supreme Court has clearly remarked that there is no money trail. It is based, and in fact, about the approver. The Supreme Court has said that you are basing everything on the judgment of, on the statement of one approver.
Okay, let me get a response from Basri on that. She has a limited time commitment. Basri, you want to respond to that? Basri,
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
What I read is para 24, which forms where the court recapitulates 11 points, and then in para 25, it says, in view of the aforesaid discussion and for reasons stated, we are not inclined to accept and prayer for grant of bail at this stage, which means para 24 becomes the reasoning of the court. So Preeti ji, please do not mislead. I was not reading submissions, I was reading the finding of the court. Now, coming to in the second aspect, ED is not being misused. The only kind of heat that the Aam Aadmi Party is suffering today, whereby the Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal ji, has been summoned by the ED, is entirely, the only people to be blamed for it is the Aam Aadmi Party. The impugned order of the High Court, which was actually upheld by the Honorable Supreme Court by rejecting this bail, says that 90 to 100 crore rupees were actually routed as kickbacks through the Deputy CM, Mr. Manish Sisodia, who manipulated the liquor policy to ensure that a certain lobby of the liquor barons were duly and unjustly enriched. I want to ask a question. It is unfathomable that the Deputy CM was acting without the directions, the knowledge, or the consent of the Honorable Chief
Basri,
Minister.
what about the charges that the ED is being used as a tool by the central government? That's what Preeti has said. How do you respond to that?
I will say that those are unfair charges. They are unfounded charges. The ED is only doing its job. The BJP is not out to destroy the Aam Aadmi Party. We don't need to do that. The Aam Aadmi Party is on a self-destructive mode on their own.
Okay, let me also rope in Nikhil Jain, political analyst, into this conversation. Advocate Desh Ratan Nigam, political analyst, also joins us on the show. Nikhil, I'm going to come to you. All right, let me come to you, Nikhil, momentarily, but let's get a response from Preeti Sharma on this as well. Preeti, the ED is doing its job. There is no need, for the Aam Aadmi Party to allege that this is all a big setup, a vendetta politic case.
I think if you just go to the man on the street, and many channels, including yours, must have done it, you've done polls, you've done surveys, and you ask anybody on why is the ED arresting opposition leaders, I think in one voice, the country is saying that it's doing it as a political tool. I don't think that anybody is so naive today that we don't understand that the CBI, which has been called a caged parrot in the past by the judiciary, and the ED is now being used as a tool. I don't think anybody has any doubts on that. And I think this is a serious problem. You were saying limited to Delhi, but why Delhi? Because this is going to happen nationally. All leaders of the India Alliance are going to be arrested, and it has done it in the past, whether it's Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi or Chidambaram or Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena or any leader. So now I think that everybody should be aware, and this will play out in the next few. I mean, what we're telling you is literally Bhavishyavani. This is going to play out in the next few months before the Lok Sabha election, that almost all chief ministers or people close to them will be arrested by the ED in order to ensure that their parties are left headless, and therefore the BJP can have a clean run at the Lok Sabha 2024 elections. However, I think that they are underestimating the cleverness and the senses of the people of this country. People are not so foolish here. You think everybody is really, really dumb and can be taken for a ride forever, but they can't. You just do a poll on the street, go out of your studio, stand on the road and ask them why Manish Sisodia is arrested, and everybody will say it's political vendetta. And if Manish Sisodia were to tomorrow join the BJP, then all cases would mysteriously disappear. If Arvind Kejriwal were to join the BJP, the cases would disappear. That is the fact of the matter. That's all that it is. They have to just join the BJP, and then they are part of a very honest government.
All right, Basri. In fact, Raghav Chadha, had a press conference today. He went on to enunciate that the basic aim of the BJP government is Arvind Kejriwal को जेल में डालो, 7 सीट दिल्ली की अपनी जेब में डालो.
This is entirely false. Delhi in the Lok Sabha election last time also the BJP swept. We won 7 out of 7 seats. Arvind Kejriwal ji was not in jail. Also, tomorrow he is being asked to join the ED for investigation. The only person who is acting like a fortune teller and making this bhavishyavani that we will be arrested is the Aam Aadmi Party themselves. I do not know if they plan on being prophetic about it. See, at the end of the day, this is a party that was trying to not scuttle away from investigation. That was their stance. What is this entire cacophony and why this rhetoric of hyperbole? Go join the investigation, answer a few questions. That's what you always said that you are not willing to scuttle away from. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Preeti, it's not only about Delhi, is what the BJP says. They have in fact targeted the Aam Aadmi Party. Even when it comes to Punjab, they have targeted the Aam Aadmi Party wherever they have tried to in fact get more electoral gains, and they say that the Aam Aadmi Party has compromised with a lot of values that they have set out with, and that's the reason why they are falling on their faces. How do you respond to that?
Sorry, is this question to me?
Yeah.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Right. So, I think that it is very clear that this entire ED tamasha started the moment we made a foray into Gujarat. The moment we had 5 MLAs elected there in their home ground, in their supposedly, gud, it's their stronghold. Immediately after that, this entire ED story started. And as far as the lady saying that we should join the investigation, we've always joined the investigation. Sanjay Singh was always available whenever they wanted him for questioning. Manish Sisodia was available for questioning. They went to Manish Sisodia's village, and many of the channels have shown his home in his village. And they went to his bank account. They went into his bank lockers. There is nothing where the Aam Aadmi Party did not cooperate in, or any of their leaders were not part of the investigation in any way. So what is this story being created that we are creating obstacles in investigation? We are ready to investigate. The fact is they have nothing to investigate. There is nothing. The Supreme Court has categorically said, where is the money trail? So while they are accepting that the ED wants to do its investigation, and with due respect to them, they themselves have contradicted what they have given as a judgment in their statements, where they have said there is no money trail. Where is the money? It is a PMLA case. It's a money laundering case. Where is the money? There is no money. And of course, Arvind Kejriwal will join the investigation. But the intention of the BJP is something that the whole country knows. We've seen this pattern in state after state after state. A case is filed against a so-called corrupt person, and the moment he joins the BJP, he even becomes a BJP chief minister. So the moment cases are filed, and I don't know why you're not talking about Maharashtra, because that is the biggest example, where Ajit Pawar, who was going to be chapki piecing as per Devendra Fadnavis, is now their deputy chief minister. A person whom they said has part of a 70,000 crore irrigation scam. And that gentleman is now their deputy chief minister. This is the fact which the whole country can see. I don't think any amount of pressure put by the ED or the CBI is going to fool the people of this country. And it is the India alliance that has frightened them. Because the moment the India alliance happened, she rightly said the BJP
Okay, so it's about the India alliance. It's about the India alliance is what you're saying. Let me open to Mr. Nigam as well. Let me open Mr. Nigam as well. Mr. Nigam, it's all about the India alliance. There is a palpable threat that the BJP feels from the India alliance, and that is the reason we saw what happened with the Apple notifications that a number of people from the India alliance received, and of course the Aam Aadmi Party is already suffering, they say, at the hands of the BJP and the agencies that are being used as tools according to them.
Vineet, in fact, it's not the BJP which is a threat to India alliance, it's their own constituents which are a threat to their own existence. Look at what Akhilesh Yadav says. Look at what Congress says about the Aam Aadmi Party and Aam Aadmi Party saying about the Congress. There are inherent contradictions. We all know about India alliance. And therefore, I think that's a political aspect, and I would not like to much comment on that because that's self-evident and admittedly by the leaders of India alliance. Now, let us come to the various aspects which have been raised. Somebody talked about, very low conviction rate. Conviction rate in matter of cases comes only after conviction and acquittal, not on filing of the cases. 25 cases have been, decided, out of which 24 have led to conviction, which means 5% acquittal rate and 95% conviction rate. This is how conviction rates are calculated, not on the number of cases. Otherwise, these conviction rates will continuously jump up and down, because if you take a case which has just been filed and include in the conviction rate, tomorrow if the conviction takes place in that particular case, the conviction rate would change. That would lead to an unjust anomaly in that kind of calculation. Now, secondly, look at this is a bail, order in bail. So courts will not give a final conclusion on it, but will say and have very clearly said the money trail has been tentatively established. That has to be proven through trial, and then only a judgment would come. But the observations of Supreme Court are prima facie and are very serious in nature. And I believe everybody should take it seriously. Today, if I comment it on politically, judiciary is taking care of that, those cases. It is judiciary which will finally decide. However, in a mature democracy based on rule of law, innocents are not to be touched and guilty should not go unpunished. This is what a mature democracy is, and then only the democracy runs. Today, ED is doing its own job, presuming for the sake of argument that they may or may not, prove the case. But who's to decide?
Okay.
Not us.
Let me open Mr. Nikhil Jain as well. Mr. Jain, do you think that the ED is just doing its job, and to politicize this issue, which is, related to criminal activity or the solution thereof, is unfair?
See, I'm not going to go into the merits of the case, that whether Mr. Kejriwal or Mr. Sisodia or any of the other persons accused or summoned have actually committed the scam or have been involved in the scam or not. But I do agree with PTG when she says that the ED is now being essentially used as an election department. Wherever there are elections or important political activity, the ED comes knocking down the door. We've just seen that in Rajasthan, where the Rajasthan Congress chief was raided by the ED. Multiple properties were raided and 10,000 rupees of cash was found. Same is here in this case. So the Supreme Court may be saying that tentatively the facts are being substantiated by evidence, but at the end of the day, the fact remains that there is no recovery of actual money. I again agree with PTG's point that when Ajit Pawar hadn't joined hands with the BJP, the ED was knocking at his door. The moment he joined hands with the BJP, became the Deputy Chief Minister, the ED very conveniently forgot about all the cases. So I can't but look at it like political vendetta. I'm not saying that there is no merit in the case. There may be, there may not be, but the point is, why does the ED get active only when there is some important political development? Why does it get active only when elections are around the corner or the opposition is forming an alliance? And one very important point I would like to correct, that Ms. Bansuri is misleading everybody. She's reading from para 24 of the Supreme Court order denying bail to Manish Sisodia, and then she's reading Article 25 in view of the aforesaid discussion. We are not inclined to grant bail.
Paragraph 25. Not article, para 25.
Very well. Para 24 and para 25. Para 25 you're reading in view of the aforesaid discussion. Now, when they say in view of the aforesaid discussion, they're not only talking about para 24, they're talking about all the previous paras. And para 24 is very clearly by the court a a recapitulation of the charge sheet of the CBI. So para 24, every single point there is an allegation by the CBI. It is not a finding of the court.
Which is
So
prima facie made out.
Okay, one second, Basuri, I'm going to come to you
It
next.
is
I'm
nonetheless
going to come
an
to you next,
allegation.
Basuri.
It's
I'm going to come to you
nonetheless an
next.
allegation.
I'm going to come to you next for clarification. Finish your point, Nikhil.
It's nonetheless, para 24 is nonetheless a recapitulation of the allegations of the CBI. And the court, even though it has not granted bail, they have not passed a verdict, and the Supreme Court cannot pass a verdict in this because at the end of the day, it is a bail case. It is
Okay,
not
all
a trial.
right. Let Basuri respond to that. Basuri, go on. It's an allegation. It is not something which the court has observed or said.
No, that is not true. Let me just tell you how it works. It basically is, and I said this is a recapitulation of all the allegations. The Supreme Court found prima facie case to be made out, and that is why in para 25 they have rejected the bail. Please, Mr. Jain, you're a lawyer yourself. It is disappointing to hear this from you. Another aspect. Let me also read para 21. What do they say? One clear ground or charge in the complaint filed under the PMLA Act, which is free from perceptible legal challenge. I'm sure Mr. Jain will be happier with this language. Free from perceptible legal challenge, and the facts are alleged are tentatively supported by material and evidence. What is it that they say? They go on to say, first bullet point, in a period of about 10 months during which the new excise policy was in operation, wholesale distributors earned 581 crores. Whereas, what happens to the government exchequer? The government exchequer got only 70 crores. In the liquor policy, even before the policy was presented to the cabinet, it was in the hands of the liquor barons. Now, regarding the point of ED, let me just answer that as well. You know what is misuse of state machinery?
Again, this is selective.
Let her finish. Preeti, let her finish. Preeti, let her finish. I'm going to come to you next. Preeti, I'm going to come to you next. Let's please be civil here. Let her finish. I'll come to you next.
Please allow me to respond. When the Aam Aadmi Party, the government was formed in Punjab, what did they do? One statement by Mr. Kumar Vishwas, which was not to their liking, Punjab police goes and knocks on Mr. Kumar Vishwas's door. Our own party leader, Mr. Tejinder Bagga, was picked up by the Punjab police. Again, that is misuse of state machinery. Another thing, another journalistic colleague of yours was also, just because she opened the Sheesh Mahal expose regarding the 52 crore scam regarding the CM bungalow, even she was thrown in jail in Punjab. That is misuse of state machinery. Today, the ED is only doing its job. Investigation is happening. You yourself have constantly said the Aam Aadmi Party has taken a stand that they are not afraid of any kind of investigation. Then why are you crying wolf? Why are you jumping the gun? Why are you trying and making all these, acting like fortune tellers and saying that...
Let Preeti respond. Let Preeti respond to what you've just said, Basuri. Preeti, go ahead.
I think the fortunes of the entire country are at risk. The constitution is at risk and democracy is at risk, and therefore we must be. Of course, we are open to every investigation, and how can we not be? Because we have been available, we have our homes, our offices, our villages, everything has been raided by them. So there's nothing that they have not investigated. They had formed a Shinglu committee, which went through 400 plus files. They didn't find a single allegation of corruption. Had the BJP really found any allegation where they could actually arrest an Aam Aadmi Party leader, they would have done it long ago and convicted them. So the fact remains that the only time that they have started this, because when we went into Gujarat, they realized we are a national party now, we are a nationally recognized party, and therefore we must be put down, and then this entire vendetta against us has begun. There was a gentleman who was talking down to us as if we are idiots, explaining that conviction rate is calculated based on judgments which are reached. Of course we are saying that out of 25 cases, 24 cases were convicted, and therefore the conviction rate is being really broadcasted by the ED. But what the ED is failing to say is that out of all the cases since 2000, when was it? I think its inception was around 2005, nearly 17 years ago. 6,000 cases, only 25 have reached the final verdict. That's what you have to realize, that ED can be used to file cases against anybody. And the PMLA law is such a law that you can immediately arrest me tomorrow. I mean, this lady from the BJP can say she gave me 20 crores and you can come and the ED can come and arrest me just on hearsay, on her saying that she gave me 20 crores. I wonder if that will happen the other way around. If I say I gave her 20 crores, will the ED arrest her? It won't. That's what's happening in this country.
Okay, we've run out of time. I'm also going to take a response to what you've said from Mr. Nigam and Nikhil Jain. Mr. Nigam.
Well, in fact, I don't think any of the lawyers at least present on this channel are saying that somebody says, I go and say, you have taken 20 crores and ED, arrest. Even Nikhil Jain cannot say that. And when you have certain substance before you, and Supreme Court went into those substances. And obviously, since it's a bail order, these are prima facie and tentative observations which have to be established in trial. So nobody is saying just somebody, came out through an allegation and a person has been arrested. Please take the observations of the court seriously. You have some serious work to do at your end, Aam Aadmi Party. Even Aam Aadmi Party can become an accused. There was an observation by the bench in the court, because when the allegation is that the money trail is leading to Aam Aadmi Party, why Aam Aadmi Party is not an accused? You've got a lot of catching up to do, Aam Aadmi Party. Let's not be on perception, because courts do not go on perception.
Okay, let Nikhil also come in. We've run out of time. Nikhil?
I would like to tell your viewers that I just hope that the Aam Aadmi Party extended that same courtesy of standing with opposition partners when the Congress leaders were being raided by the ED or were being summoned by the ED. And probably the reason they find themselves in a fix all alone at this moment of difficult time for them is because they didn't stand up for others when it was needed. Again, I'm not making any comment on the merits of the case, but of course the timing of the ED raids and everything is pointing to very clearly to the fact that this is all nothing but political vendetta.
All right, but it's going to be an important day for the Aam Aadmi Party. It's going to be an important day for Delhi. It's going to be an important day for the politics of the day between the opposition and the Aam Aadmi Party that governs Delhi, when Arvind Kejriwal is going to be questioned by the Enforcement Directorate. What kind of a sea change is that going to bring to this scam? That is something that we will only find out in time. Would like to thank all our guests for being a part of this conversation.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.